Hey guys, in this video I'd like to talk about loving your enemy and how it's not something we imagine up. Loving your enemy is not imagining a scene where somebody breaks into your home and kills your family and tortures you and does horrible things. And then you're expected to love this person because God tells you to. God did not expect you to love that person because that person doesn't exist and you imagined them up. You understand that, right? And this is such a great temptation for people who do not stick to the truth, that they will argue with me on this point. This thing that did not happen to them, I tell them it did not happen to them. They will then say, actually, this does happen in the world, so how do you respond to that? Right? Like that's what they wanna do. They cannot stick to the truth. And what it means is, we don't do the thing that is so delusional that the world considers a virtue, where we put on the shoes of somebody else. You know why we don't do that? Because we have our own shoes, and these are the shoes that get us to places, unlike the imaginary shoes. It seems so simple, it seems so dumb almost, but it isn't, because God is real. And that means when you are expected to fulfill the commandment of loving your enemies, you're not expected to fulfill it in this imaginary way. You're expected to fulfill it in the realest way in your own life. In your own life. And that means when somebody is rude and snaps at you, you don't yell back. You ask them, is everything okay? That's about as real as loving your enemies gets. For most people, I think. And although it seems small, this is the thing that actually matters. If you believe in God, if you believe in love, if you believe in compassion, if you believe in truth, these are the things that actually matter. That can completely turn somebody's life around. The answers to the imaginary question, what do you do about the death squad, how do you love them, those didn't really matter. That's just people doing mental gymnastics to see who is the most intelligent one, who is the smart one, who gets things right in this imaginary area where they're like gladiators, battling like debate lords. Those people are the delusional ones. They will be shamed incredibly. They produced nothing, and they thought they were a great man. Stick to the truth, guys. And that means you have to find your enemies, right? Who are your enemies? Well, you should make your enemies the enemies of God. And you should go about addressing them. Like, who is the enemy of God? Well, it's the hypocrite, right? Who tells to people and convinces people that they're speaking on behalf of God, and they say the worst things. And they drive people away from the truth. Cause people to ridicule and blaspheme God. Those are their works. That person is my enemy and what they're doing. And the way I love that enemy, like I would love myself, is by speaking the truth into the world. And this is the thing that seems so small, right? But this is the thing that also matters. That's real. I want to be like a force that is against those people who just confuse things and speak from the darkness and draw people in. I want to be a force against them. Because that is what I would want to be done to me if I was like them, right? Not just because it would actually help people, it would lead people down the correct path of Christ, but it would lessen the punishment that I would receive. Because somebody challenged me, right? This is what loving your enemies is about. It happens in these real ways that you can explain. And that's also important. Like, God is somebody who increases us, our understanding, our reason, our grasp on reality. we are helped in the process of helping others also. When we take things seriously, we become more godlike. The image of God that we are supposed to be becomes more clear. Loving your enemies, I think, is a great thing to understand, but it can't become just like a mental exercise. It has to be something real in your life today and tomorrow. You have to remind yourself of it until it's like your nature. And that's what being in Christ is all about.